Yeah, it's been a challenging week. I think it's that time. One of the fears I always have in talking to other coaches is you get to this midway point and you're a morning practice team. Sometimes you can either convince yourself or you feel like your team's a bit sluggish, and I think we're kind of hitting that point. There's some studies out that show there's a cycle that happens and it'll come back around. In a week or so, I hope. But I think we're not the only team that is going through that, and so it's been a little sluggish, not bad, just a little sluggish. We need to have a great day today, and we just got through our team meeting and recapping our theme, and I was pleased with everybody's response in there, and looking forward to getting on the field and prepping today and then on into tomorrow.
Coach, if you could tell me a little bit about Rashad and how you were able to connect with him so quickly. He told us a little bit of his story this week, and obviously leaving ULM, the knee injury, things like that. But how were you able to connect with him so quickly, and what drew you to him as a player?
Well, I mean, we have a recruiting department that studies the portal every day and keeps us informed on new additions to it, and they evaluate them, and they knew that we had a lack of depth at linebacker, and certainly we're trying to look and see what was available. And when he came up and we watched, it became obvious that he was a kid we had great interest in, and then he just turned to let's get to know him and recruit him. And I thought he was an extremely mature kid from the first conversation on, and just was really impressed with kind of what he wanted in the next move, and that's really what drew me to him. Obviously, he was a good enough player, but really I thought he was the type kid we wanted in that room also.
Go to John from a Sea of Red.
Hey, Coach, have you gotten any further information on Quentin Reese and his injury?
Yeah, Quentin unfortunately has suffered a torn bicep and is going to have surgery first part of next week. So that's we hate that for him. He's an incredible teammate and great player for us, and he'll be missed for sure. But he's got a great attitude, and I know he'll bounce back strong from it.
And just a quick follow-up to that, how's the rest of that safety room coming this week? I know we talked to Scott about it earlier on Monday, and he said, may just have a guy like Scruggs play multiple reps, or Jalen Jimerson. How has that transpired so far this week?
Yeah, we're cross-training Scruggs, and obviously Jimerson and Ben are getting reps also to create depth there. So hopefully we can stay injury-free at that spot the rest of the way. But those three guys it'll be a combination of that.
That said, how valuable is a guy like Rocket Rahimi that you can cross-train Scruggs and potentially move him into that spot?
Well, he's valuable. All our depth kids are, but he's got to play well and prepare well, and he's still learning how to do that. And love his effort and energy. Just got to get him grounded in assignments all the time, but he's vital.
Damien, you go ahead.
Hugh, from the sound of it, is Quentin out for the rest of the year?
I would assume so, yes.
Yeah. How's the injury front going? You mentioned you hope some of these ankles healed up, and you had some bodies available, or is there anything else has popped up that might leave you shorthanded, for this weekend?
Oh yeah, we'll be shorthanded, I'm sure. I'm not exactly sure who yet. Everyone's trying to rehab and get back, but the chances of everybody being prepared enough to be able to go are probably slim. I don't know exactly what that looks like yet, but we'll definitely be shorthanded some.
their end or personnel changes, do you think special teams can play a role again this year?
Well, I think it always plays a role, but they're definitely much better. The coaching staff's a veteran staff. They're doing a nice job, and they're well coached, and we'll have to play well in all facets, including special teams.
John?
Treyon Sibley's a guy that you identified when you first got to Liberty and added him quickly to that first recruiting class that February. And now, he started at running back and went back and forth now at receiver. And it seems like he's breaking into part of the everyday rotation when you guys are playing Saturdays with him at receiver. What has he been able to do this season or last year or whenever it was to get to where he deserves to be on the field on the offense? I know he's always been a factor on special teams.
Really proud of him. He really had no idea how to go about working and preparing when he got here, and man, he's really he spent his time on scout team and working his way into special teams rotation, and now we've had some injuries obviously at receiver, but he's deserving of it and has really improved himself, and just by working, he went to work, kept a good attitude, even when he didn't get the time, and went about his work and has improved himself. Thus, it's equating to playing time.
So I might have asked you this earlier this week, and I don't think you had gotten into them tape-wise that much on ULM, but now having a chance to see them looking at a Rich Rod offense there compared to some of what he's done in the past, are there similarities, and if so, what are they?
Oh, it's the same. Rich Rod and I've been. We've talked, we've been friends, acquaintances for years, and on the Nike trips that we used to go on, I would always seem that I would end up gravitating to him or vice versa, and us talking ball. It's he's got the whole package, whether it's the sprint out RPOs, which is something not many people do. I don't know how to do that, but he does, and it's a feast or famine, but it can be explosive for sure. Plus the pocket RPOs, he's got really 3 different quarterbacks that he can use. One is really twitchy and fast, and one's really a pocket passer, and the other's kind of a combination. And he's used all 3. He formations you, motions you, tempos you. So it's the same stuff he's done for years.
David?
You brought up earlier this week that ULM on film seems to bring more pressure than any team you've faced this year, and you felt Middle was able to brought a good bit of pressure. What's the preparation been like to make sure that you guys are able to combat that pressure and be able to give Malik a sound pocket and then create those running rooms for the backs? Yeah,
just continue to work on our techniques of pass pro. Obviously, you got to have enough numbers to match theirs, or you have a problem. So you have to judge when you want to max protect, when you don't want to max protect, and how what's the answer if you don't max protect and they do bring 4 to a side or some type of pressure that you can't account for everybody. Malik's got to set the protections correctly, know where he's not protected, so that if they do bring one more than you can block, he knows where it's coming from. And when he does that, he's pretty good. It's hard. That first one usually doesn't get him. And so, we're just as part of the normal game plan that we go through is let's get the protection set right, and how we're going to do that, and then deciding when we're going to make sure we have enough numbers in the protection to protect him, and then what, when and what are our that we feel good about taking the chances of not having the numbers.
Coach, I feel like I probably already know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Just coming off a game where Malik did throw 3 interceptions after not throwing any at all this year, what's his attention to detail level been this week in practice and his focus level?
Yeah, you know, those of you who have been around us know that no one has to tell Malik. He takes great pride and ownership when he feels like he did not play up to the standard that we like or that he set for himself. So, you know, no one has to tell him that, and you know, he comes to work every day. So it's not something we've even talked about since Monday. It went in the trash, and just prepare like you have the rest of the year, and let's forget about that.